So Netflix's Bling Empire takes Crazy Rich Asians to a whole other level. Kevin Kreider, you return for season 2. The cast took viewers on a wild ride. For those who haven't watched yet, what can they expect?
Oh man, for season 2, you definitely want to expect a lot of roller coaster moments, feeling down and going up and feeling sick to your stomach a little bit, because it's like, man, you just want to see us achieve things and get together and be good, So I think you're going to see a lot of things you don't expect. A lot more gossip and drama, a lot of shocking news to people. I mean, shocking to me. And maybe even a little bit of heartfelt moments and heart floating and crushing. And you're going to see a lot. You're going to feel a lot in this for sure.
Well, in season 1, you went on a date with Kelly, and now you showed a different side of yourself in season 2. What's going on with you and Kim Lee this season?
Oh man, you didn't watch? No, I'm kidding. I know you want to hear it from me. Let's just say this. If you haven't seen the show yet, Kim and I are still friends, and we actually are good friends still. It's not one of those things that are awkward. I think we just got caught up too much in this whole friends. You got to be careful when you date other friends, because other friends want to get involved too much, and they think there's a lot of ownership, it seems like, with friends in this group, and it gets crazy when you add in romance.
Well, it's definitely a crazy season, and she's absolutely gorgeous. What about her is different from the other girls you've dated in the past?
Thanks for rubbing that in, Stephanie.
Sorry, I had to. I had to. She is like stunning every time I see her.
Yeah, I think, I meant what I said in the beginning, which is like, originally I just wasn't that physically attracted to her. I mean, I know she's beautiful, but it wasn't like, she was a friend, she's in the DJ world. And I just thought, of course, that she's a good looking girl. But then there was more of a, obviously a flirtatious attraction. I think what really drew me towards her is like, there's never a boring moment. We could always talk. We can talk about anything. Where I feel like sometimes with other girls in the past, or even current, castmates, or friends, I would say more than castmates, is that like we can't talk about everything. When I talk to Anna about stuff, it's like, I don't think she can really relate to my level, like she only knows what it's like to be on Anna's level. So I feel like Kim and I come from similar backgrounds in that sense, like good families, good upbringing, and working hard on our own independently. And so I think I really respect that.
I mean, I love all the dynamic between all of your characters in Bling Empire. And it's just a good friend groups. It comes with drama, it comes with laughs and a lot of tears this season as well. And things kind of went downhill towards the end of the season. We have to talk about the lie detector test. How did you feel about that whole experience?
Well, I felt good coming out on my end. I mean, like I was being honest the whole time, and I felt like people were doubting my honesty and my loyalty towards trying something out with Kim. And I don't know how many times I could tell the friend group, I'm really serious about this. Like people change immediately for the right person. And I felt like I found the right person at the time. So to be doubted that, and actually still to this day, to continually be doubted, like even after passing a lie detector test, proving myself, I think that hurts the most, is that even today, I'm still doubted, still got no recognition or apology from anybody, even after this, just more excuses of like, oh, lie detector tests aren't 100% accurate. Well, the guy said it's over 90%. So I think it proved it. And, I apologize for my part, in my reaction to all the bullshit that happened, and yet there was no recognition on anybody else's part, which I don't really need at this point. I've proven it to myself, and that's all that really matters at this point.
I think that's always a good character trait to have, to just be true to yourself. That's all you can really do. And that's a bit extreme in my opinion, the lie detector test, but but I mean, hey, you were willing to do it. You were true to yourself. I think that's all that matters. in the end. But you also had a bit of a fallout with Kane. Why do you think he was trying to get in between you and Kim?
Uh, I think there's a little bit of self-righteousness that goes on in our friend group, policing of friends. It comes from a place of wanting the best for others. But I guess the problem with that is you end up choosing a favorite and playing sides because obviously you have to then at that point. And also, I don't believe it came from facts. It came from opinions. And that's the problem with this situation we had. We had a lot of opinions, which were not true. And I think that's what really hurts us as a friendship. We have a lot of strong opinions. No one's willing to listen and to figure out what's right. And I find that a lot of people justify it with, oh, we're just doing it out of the best interest of other people, but it's really not. It's like kind of like you feel important when you gossip and know information. I think a lot of this stuff comes from insecurity from our friend group, like wanting to feel important, wanting to feel valued, wanting to feel appreciated too much. And I think that's the downfall of like gossip in the friend group and in that sense. And I hope if there's more to come that we can come on top this time.
Like you breaking the glass at the event was really intense, but I can see, hopefully everyone, it seems like you guys are hopefully working things out. So it's always when things are being thrown, it's, there's a lot of, I feel like, hurt behind anger.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, like the breaking of the glass was a reaction of Kane not knowing to listen and just keep repeating, she's my friend. Like, I mean, look, they lightened it up. He said, she's my friend at least like 20 times before, it's just like, I was like, well, won't you listen to me? Like, that wasn't true. I do have feelings, and like to be told how I feel, nobody likes that, because I'm like, my feelings are valid, like I have feelings for someone, and for you to tell me I don't invalidates my feelings, but for some reason it's okay for you too, and even though I know other people in our friend group don't like it either. So I do feel like this season lost a little bit of its lightness. But I think, what's cool is that you'll go through a roller coaster, right? In a roller coaster, there's a high and it goes low and it goes back up. So I hope that everybody enjoys that roller coaster ride that we went through.
Exactly. I mean, it was such a wild ride, like I said before. So where do you stand with Kane now?
We don't talk very much. I really was trying my best to let go of a lot of stuff. And what I just find is that every time we try to let go, something else comes up, something else I did apparently, and all that kind of stuff. So it gets tough. It gets tough with friends when you can't really talk things out, like even today, I still feel like I can't talk things out with Kane. It has to be me apologizing for shit that I don't even think I did wrong, really. Like me admitting things, and it's always about, and I don't want to feel like I have to be at the mercy of a friendship that way, like I feel like I lost a lot of freedom. And now that we're not so close, I feel like I have more freedom, and so I think that's really hard for us to work through. And I hope, because like I do care about him as a friend and stuff, like I just hope like we can get past that. But it only starts when you really want to come to the table and have a conversation authentically and not defend yourself and just listen. And I feel like he's very defensive whenever I try to talk to him.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can work things out. I know everyone loves the bromance you guys had, and sometimes like friends fight, and hopefully you guys can work through that. And I want to hear about, what about you and Kim? Like, where do you guys stand now?
Yeah, we still chat. I mean, like we text, we call, whenever there's something going on. Like, I mean, especially now with season 2 dropping, we kind of laugh about things. We don't really talk about the romance part because I think that's really hard to go back to. I mean, I do watch some of this and I feel a little bit like, oh, because it's like, that was real. Like, it wasn't, to me, like, it wasn't like a show. That was a real life events that happened. And it can be a little bit, you know, and to see all this stuff that was talked about behind my back, I'm just like, wow, you know, like, that's crazy to me.
I mean, with that kind of caliber of a friends group, I think, something has to be said. So are you guys still trying to get back together, or are you guys kind of keeping it friends, keeping it slow for now?
I think you might have to continue watching to figure that out. Hopefully Netflix gives us another chance at this, and more will be revealed in that sense.
You also talked about your sober journey, which is bold and a serious topic. Can you talk a little bit about that and why you mentioned it on the show?
Yeah, I mentioned it on the show because I wanted people to know, like, there's this side of me, like, all these decisions don't come in and hopefully my sanity didn't come from like the party scene. Like, I've been sober for a long time, and it's led me to this place where there's a lot of unsober things happening around me. But how do I navigate as a sober man through these obstacles? Because I think a lot of people think, you know, when you're sober without alcohol and you're getting help, that everything is just chaos, and it's your life is shit, you know, and you're like homeless, right? Like, there's this stigmatism. And I just got tired of it. I got tired of staying silent, and to the stigmatism around mental health, about sobriety, about not drinking. And it just pushed me over the edge enough to be able to share about it.
Well, thank you for sharing that with the world. I'm sure like it gives maybe some people can relate to that. And it's not something that people talk about every day. So that was very thoughtful topic that you brought up. And I also want to talk about the new members of season 2. How was season 2 with Dorothy and Mimi?
I didn't really get to stick around with Dorothy too much. Like, the only time I did, and they didn't even play it, it was like at this party, and I was reading her astrology chart, and lo and behold, she is the same element as Cain, and both of these elements like the attention in the spotlight. So I'm like, oh, no wonder these two conflict. It's like taking away each other's spotlight. But that's on a more superficial level. But me and her got along. It wasn't. Yeah, look, she's a little opinionated as well, just like everybody else. But the thing is, I could talk to her. I didn't see any reason why I couldn't. I think what made it hard was knowing that Kane had a problem with her. But then, once I started to have problems with Kane, Christine started to have problems with Kane. This whole thing, I was like, wow, what's the common denominator here that just seems to be in place for all of these relationships, and I'm like, you have to be an idiot to like not know the common denominator. It's kind of like, if you suck at relationships and you've had 20 of them and they all failed, like, what's the common denominator? It's usually yourself, right? Like, I just kind of did that, and I was like, well, maybe it's not all these people. And I started to give them a chance, and we got along. And Mimi, amazing. She's so cool. I think what was really hard for us is that she lives so far away. Like, I don't have a car still. So to Uber there, it's like $100. I can't afford that. Like, I'd rather just pay my rent. That's astronomical right now, or my utilities. So it's like, unless there was like a car service maybe picking me up, like, we'd hang out more. But it was really tough because of that distance, for sure. Now that Dorothy's leaving in New York, it's like, man, hi, bye.
I also want to ask, can you talk a little bit about, the whole thing with like Jesse and Cherie? Like, I don't know. I know there's like speculation happening like in the first few episodes.
Yeah, I think in our friend group, we have a trust of like what we want to share openly with the public and not. And I think maybe that trust got broken because maybe that was stuff that, yeah, it's public, it's open, but maybe they didn't want to be public. And I think they kind of understood, or thought they understood, that our group would understand that, because there's other castmates with deep, dark secrets that are very verbal. Don't you dare share this, and we don't. So I thought it was understood, and maybe they felt like it betrayed because they were exposed unjustly in some sense, like it was like, wow, you guys also have secrets and things that you don't want to hurt your family with, and now you're going to hurt our family, and we don't get to tell our story. Everybody else is telling it. And I think maybe there was just like a shock to them. So like, I think I would have frozen too. I'd be like, oh, I don't know what to do. And maybe the best thing to do is nothing.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes silence is better than, not saying anything at all. But I feel like
Yeah.
there's a common concern amongst your friends group. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why a little bit of drama starts. But it's exciting for the viewers, of course, to see. I kind of just want to take it back to season 1 a little bit, because you talk about being adopted and then being introduced to this lavish lifestyle with these wealthy group of friends. What was that like for you?
I mean, like, here's the thing. It's fun in the beginning because you realize, I mean, you have nothing in common, right? But it's fun and you get to see the really good side. And it was just like a magical time. It really is a fantasy. And it's the only way I can describe it, because obviously once that fantasy's popped, you start to see reality a little bit more, and you're like, wow, we really don't think the same. We really don't come from common roots. Surprisingly, I had such a great conversation with Christine because we have a lot in common, actually. She didn't always have all of this stuff, or if she did, then she was like working her way for things. And it was just like, it was really great. And like Kelly, a hardworking person, ground up, Kim, same way. It's that keeps me in it, but it's like the whole fantasy thing. I'm like, man, like it's kind of like a vacation. Eventually you just want to get back to reality a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, all the parties are so over the top. I absolutely love it. Please send me an invite next time. What's one of your favorite moments in season 2?
I think one of my see, this gets jumbled because it's like we filmed such a long time ago, and I've hung out with them so many times. But I think one of my favorite parts was really actually going to Solvang. Like, it's such a cute town, and got to do stuff that wasn't blingy, and to show like my real side as well of these are the things that I really talk about most of the time. I don't always get in the middle of the gossip of stuff. I don't always talk about the bling, or it's not always about talking about girls, right? It's like, hey, let's talk about us and know each other better. So that campfire stuff's real too for me, like in the sense of that's my background. S'mores, campfires, like you don't really see that much of that in Bling Empire, or probably ever will.
Yeah, I really liked when you guys went to the ostrich farm. I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
So just, like you said, it's like a little bit of like a slice of reality where like, oh, this people can actually relate, because I would go to an ostrich farm, but a mansion almost every weekend, I'm not too sure about that. But what's one of the most expensive products you've ever seen, or like the most extravagant event you think you've been to?
Wow. Man, Mimi's party was the most expensive gift giving I've ever seen. I mean, like that fat ring with that expensive car. I mean,
What do you think the price tag is on that?
that ring made me feel so uncomfortable, because I'm like, that's like over a couple years worth of money, like salary I've ever made in my life on one finger. And like, it made me feel so small. Like, am I really that worthless? My net
No.
worth actually fit on this person's finger.
I mean, it probably had like a bodyguard of its own. Like, oh.
I know, it was just so wild to me. So I think that ring probably cost probably at least 150K, right? Maybe 200K. I'm not really good at this shit yet.
I'm thinking like maybe millions, so I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's how, I mean, my head can't even wrap around $1 million on a finger. So
you think we can
yeah.
expect a season 3? Are you guys like in the works of stuff? We definitely want to see more of everything.
I mean, didn't Dorothy break that news already?
I don't know. I need a little bit more confirmation for more members. So.
I know. I was like, damn, like